Very nice. I welcome all of you to this Sunday session. Thank you for joining me today. Prashant, you wrote, very good morning, Rajiji. A real joy to see you. Getting addicted to you and your satsang. Okay. I hope you are saying in a good way, like this. I don't think you can ever say that I'm addicted to oxygen, pure oxygen. I'm now getting addicted to pure fresh air, maybe. I mean, even if you say that will not be really addiction, no? Everybody will say, that's nice, really, like this. But just be sure, just be clear what you mean by addiction. No? So very good, very good. Anybody who want to talk to me can talk to me now. No? Okay. Prashant, you wrote addiction is to be in positive term here. Okay. Since the nectar is being tasted for first time and hence addiction. Yes, very correct actually. Normally what we call peace, joy of the being and all of this, it is actually somehow in the same gradient of the ego self in some way. What is beyond it is so radically different actually. What you're calling nectar, no? It's like there and not there. You are experiencing and yet you cannot find out how exactly you are experiencing it. It's like you keep your hands open, it is very much there. The moment you try to hold, it's just not there. In this very tendency to hold, we kind of become insensitive towards that joy or nectar of the being of the truth. Very nice. Anybody else can talk to me? Udan, how Udan is there. Okay. Udan, please talk.
Namaste ji.
Namaste, dear.
Ji, just wanted to connect with you and felt like sharing something, but I don't know how to put it in words, so I'll try.
Sure.
Ji, I was just living with this wonder, who am I? And like it feels like this presence. I was stuck in this range of presence, and suddenly some new ground open up, and which is not really a ground, but it feels like the source of everything is simply nothing. And and like I don't know how to say it, but this presence also feels like a movement for me now. It feels this presence is also a movement. So can you just share, or can you just say what is, yeah, can you just share something?
See, one thing about this, try to notice right now that when you say that presence is also looks like a movement, no? Then this knowledge that you are having right now, is this also not a movement? Or is it not? Is it a movement or not? This knowledge that presence is a movement, presence is also a movement. This knowledge is movement or not?
It is movement.
Do you
It
see?
is movement.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So this is good. Then stay like this. Stay in this clarity. No? Because one thing that somehow also you can see now with me that either truth of the presence is that it does not move, or truth of the presence is that it is a movement. No, and you are interested in the truth of it only. No, not that you are already favoring in some favoring some idea that it is unmoving presence. No, you are just exploring the truth of it. No, and you will find like this the truth of it. No, what is the truth of you right now? Can I just ask you like this? That what is the truth of you right now beyond the person, which is a activity for you, and the presence, which is a activity for you. But now, can I ask you that what is the truth of you right now beyond even these things? Beyond means like not defining them in this way, or not including them in this moment right now. Just in this moment, you are, and not really kind of bringing them in this discussion or looking right now. Maybe just one division, that the movement and myself. Let's say like this. Doesn't matter what moves, but movement and myself. So what is your knowledge right now? Are you a movement?
I'm not a movement.
So if you are not a movement, do you need to try to be still? Then what do you do whole day when you are not a movement? You don't have to stop yourself from moving also. What do you do whole day actually? Just a very strange way, but I feel effective way of looking into it, because we all have become quite habitual of spiritual concept so much that immediately our spiritual mind sort of wakes up that, oh, okay, I know this much. So I'm just trying to surprise you a little bit. No, what do you do whole day then?
Yeah, I would say now I only enjoy whatever is happening. I enjoy. I don't do any like I don't know. I'm just living this cosmic joke, which is like more deepening every day. It is very funny to like. It's not serious or spiritual for me now. It's getting more funny. Like you say, what the hell type of.
Yeah, this is good. Uh, I hope you are clear now that everything that is inside you, knowledge, experiences, understandings, insights, you know, and the very functioning called thinking or thought flow, feelings arising and sensations and everything. All of this is brought in one light and being lived in one light. No, maybe more and more, not all of it, maybe, but slowly more and more. No, because in reality, we don't live anything which is not outside, inside ourselves. No, we experience things being outside of ourselves, but actually that experience happens inside ourselves. No? So if we live fully what is inside ourselves, we live the whole universe in a way. No? What do you feel? This you can understand?
Yes, yes, Ji. What you're saying, I'm able to understand.
Yeah. Whenever you know anything, I can say to you, I think like this, that whenever you know anything, there are always three things. No, one is what you have known, and one is the knowledge that you have about that object of knowledge, and one is you who knows it. No, you cannot be really sure if you are if you are present and seeing that, you cannot be sure that that object will be there tomorrow also to be known. You cannot be sure that even if the object will be there tomorrow to be known, my knowledge about it will be same. You cannot be sure about that also. No. So the object of knowledge and the knowledge about the object is not permanent. You can see this now. It's changing. But you, the knower, when you know something about life, do you change? That, oh, I'm more of myself now because I know this about life. Is it like this? Be very clear about it. This is where the knowledge can make you free, or knowledge can bind you also. Because knowledge will create a knower in you, which will improve, which will become a more of a knower, better knower, or more illuminated knower maybe also. No?
Gee, can we look into this knower uh, which is created? Because I also feel disinterested in this knowledge somehow, and I avoid saying or talking because it somehow give this sense of false entity again. So can we look into little bit into this knower which is created?
This knower which is created is being experienced by you, no? It is always seen by you, but it cannot be seen by you if you are that, meaning if you are attached to that. So what I propose is right now that let go of all your effort and attachments with absolutely everything, like this. And then why we are doing like this? So that we can check, is there any natural knowledge present in me? Natural knowledge, meaning a knowledge without absolutely any effort or any way. Like I'm not being in a certain way that I have to be the knower, then only I can know. No, I let go of that also. Is there any knowledge happening in you right now?
No, Ji, it's momentarily knowledge comes and goes. Like whatever is needed comes and then it goes. Nothing stays in me
So
except me.
this is a natural knowledge happening in you, no? Meaning you are noticing this. This noticing is the natural knowledge happening or not? Are you trying to notice this? Don't try to notice anything. Don't try to know anything right now. And then see, is there anything you know still? Meaning keep knowing naturally. Like that knowledge is like continuously there.
Cannot say exactly what, like, I would say not a knowledge separates from me. It's here. Only I am here. Like nothing absolutely.
But now maybe simple questions can verify or kind of highlight maybe something hidden, no? Like what do you know now? Like what do you know at all? Anything will be. And there is no need to be perfect in that knowing or expressing. So even if you know a little bit something, tell me now. Even if you know a little bit something, tell me now.
Gee, I feel that somehow here I know myself. but still it feels like like this is also a knowledge which I don't want to.
So that's what I'm saying. Don't keep this knowledge, don't maintain this knowledge, and then just test, is this knowledge remains or not.
It remains. It's like kind of stuck. That's why I'm like confused. Like why it is not. I'm able to let go of this.
I think you need to be more mature in it. Like, how to say, it has to become ripe in a way. This knowledge, this natural self knowledge, has to become ripe in its own way. That something deeper will be seen, no? If there is something deeper than this. Many times we don't value this simple knowledge. I am, I exist, because we have not seen all other different type of knowledges yet, and they attract us. We feel that those knowledges are better than this. When we have seen all those knowledges coming and going, and this knowledge not coming and going, that I am, that I exist, then first time we will value this knowledge, no? And then as we value more, it reveals its own truth and deeper truth of it, actually. No? What is the deeper truth of this natural knowledge that you have right now? That this is not the knowledge the way you think, actually. This is the deeper truth of it. So live with me right now and go beyond this conventional way of looking at it, that this is knowledge. It's not. It's some different kind of knowledge. What do you say now?
It is not knowledge. It is simply awareness of myself, which I'm considering knowledge.
Yes. Do you see? So it has become a little more clear to you now. And even what you are calling awareness is still there is still something mixed with you when you are looking at awareness. And further, it will refine your knowledge about awareness will refine further. Awareness means what? I always would like to wonder whenever we have time that what it what is awareness, what it means to be aware also. And I'm not talking to anyone who can define it. I'm talking to someone who can express by from the direct experience of awareness. So what do you feel that what it really means to be aware of myself? What it means when we are living the truth, we are not really discussing in words. No, everybody, I'm sure, is with me also today, right now.
In this saying, I'm just creating duality because of my expression. Otherwise, it is like water in water type of statement.
Yes. So there is something still mixed with you being the knower or seer of it, and there is something still mixed with you, which is giving you the impression of this being this or this being that. No? Division, no? Division, as you said. So I think before also I shared like this that anyone in whom it has become absolutely clear that I want to know the full truth of life or myself, or full truth basically, it doesn't matter really what we call it, then they must see or they must continue seeing until they can define, you know. So this is defining. Until you can define, continue seeing still. Meaning remain still and keep seeing. That there is a self-awareness. Self-awareness means what? Meaning you are able to define. So don't conclude yet. Continue. Is self-awareness necessary for you to exist?
Gee,
Hmm?
there are there are not two things like self-awareness and I am that thing which is like something is aware of me. There are not two things. So the question I think does not apply somehow here.
So very good. That's very good. That's very good. I think if we can monitor this simple thing, division, no? That's much like it's deepest actually. Just we keep monitoring division. Are there any divisions when I'm knowing anything deep inside me? Is there any division between me and what I'm knowing? Or any form of division, like even this kind of division that I have a self-awareness. I think this is very good. This is like meeting the truth of yourself as it is. No, meeting the truth of yourself inside is the simplest thing to do. But what happens is that mind is always there, mostly, no, in the beginning. And mind basically is a state of the being, your state where you believe to create things, improve, change, upgrade, and grow like this. And that tendency somehow, that mind, we have to detach ourselves from that mind somehow, so that we can meet the truth as it is. Everybody is capable of meeting the truth of this moment, their own truth, no, inside. It's just that we are not ready to let go of that mind, which is giving the impression that truth has to be improved, changed, you know. So I think good for now.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lots of love to you.
Yeah, to you too. Very nice. Thank you, beloved. Gina, you can talk.
Namaste, Bala.
Namaste, dear.
I enjoyed your talk with Udan so much. Had a inner smile all the way and outer also. Um, I'm I'm finding myself always interested in this self knowing the self. And is there any limit of the self knowing the self really, or um, I don't even know how else to say it, beloved. Do you have enough to tell me something, or shall I try to phrase it better?
I can say a little bit. Yeah, I understand. I can say a little bit like this, that as long as you can define anything in this direction, let's say we are just saying for in the moment that in the direction of yourself, as long as you can define, continue seeing and exploring and knowing, like this. And when you have sufficiently, you know, known yourself and not finding any way to define yourself with your mind's knowledge or learned knowledge, no, then you can say that yes, I have stepped into my truth, where I am absolutely blissful, peaceful, and undivided, and not able to define myself at all in my old way. You cannot define yourself in your old way. Old way means the learned spiritual way or learned personal way also, no, like this. And now sit here. and look back at the mind, at the thoughts, at the feelings, at the body, at the senses, and at the world now. Are you able to define? Same thing, do this also here. And you will sometime be able to define, but be very alert. How exactly I'm able to, how do I know that this is body? You know, when we use the word, we mean it also, no? And the meaning remains hidden like a blind spot. We use the word that I'm just saying this is body. No, you are. Nobody is saying like this really. Whenever we use the word, we have meaning connected to it in our inside us. No, so that meaning will be again highlighted. Somehow it will challenge. No, that what do you mean by body? Have a cup of tea and live. The tea, the cup, and you, and the process of having a cup of tea. Again, look at it from your purity of the being. And you will know again what is body, what is cup, what is tea, and what is having a tea. Again, you will learn, like a totally fresh way of looking at life. It doesn't mean that the past, the old way of looking at life should not stay in your mind. It is useful for practical life, where you have to represent yourself as a person. No? Eh? I cannot hear you.
Sorry, Bilal, the invaders in my room. I'm trying to kick them out.
Okay. Fine. They are very sweet invaders. No? So
I feel,
shall I
beloved.
continue or no?
Yes, please. Sorry, beloved.
No, say something.
It's an amazing view, and I cannot even call it approach, a living that you described, because I notice you call it discrepancies when not matching, when the one who sees and say the words which are coming out, they're in such a big they differ so much because the talking happens from the habitual point. It was not looked into, so the habitual things are it's a mechanism, no? So the mechanism is used without being reviewed.
Yes. Actually, this what I call being present. No, being present is a very powerful thing. It's a two-headed sword. It's a two-sided sword. You can say, no, two-way sword. If you have not started living in your truth inside, then this will help you drop out of the mind into yourself. No? This being present. And this being present applies to you also when you are resting in yourself. Because resting in yourself does not really require for you to be present. No, present with what? You are yourself alone. So there is no activity required for you to be in yourself as yourself. No effort required. No, that's what I was discussing with Udan also. But now, either your learned way, which is the body, mind, and the character and the energetic structure which is in place, will live and express itself in place of you, or you can be more present because you don't know how to live as a person while you continue living as yourself. How to speak like a person to another person who is living in the personal state while you don't forget yourself. You don't know this yet. So to bring that harmony and balance, you can learn to be more present. So this being present will be a effort from the effortless being that you are. And this is the best effort actually. So let your body mind conditioning function while you, the truth, remain present. You yourself remain only present more and more. More and more is important here. Because the more you are present, the more light is present here, which is going to somehow highlight the non-essential parts of the conditioning, which is what we call conditioning, let's say, and only the training will remain in you. No, the training is required. Body mind cannot learn every morning how to be a male or a female or a expert of a particular field. All of that training has to be living on a permanent basis. Inside, as long as we live in the body. So training versus conditioning. Conditioning is more connected to a personal outlook towards life, towards what we do, towards others and all, towards our like reactions and impulses and so on. So that will be calmed out by when you remain more present in the activities. You let the activities happen from the body mind and you remain more present, like this. It will also refine the self-knowledge, I feel. It will refine the self-knowledge that at some point I kind of become the person, Although you will not become the person forever, but highlighting this will be very useful. That's all I wanted, I could say. No? What do you feel?
Wonderful, beloved. Thank you so much. I see the steam from your tea. So I know it's tea time. Thank you, beloved.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. Deepa, you can talk.
Namaste. So,
Namaste, Deepa.
at times I feel delusional because I'm kind of stuck in self inquiry, and then I feel that, I don't want to be in this world or surviving in this world. So, how to create a balance? Though I know that I need to stay in present, but still there is a need of survival. So, I feel like running away. How to create harmony between that?
Are you ready to to see that your question is wrong, or are you in a hurry to get the answer?
No, I'm ready to find the truth. As in, like, if I'm being delusional, then I need to fix it. That's it. Yeah.
So, what is important for you? Balance in the life like this, self-inquiry plus your normal life. We can say personal life, practical life. Let's say.
Practical life, like survival,
Yeah,
basically.
survival
Yeah.
in the practical life for the body, plus self-inquiry, meaning you trying to know yourself. So you
Yeah.
say that I want balance between the two, no?
Yeah.
Balance means that sometimes you are not succeeding well in the practical life, in the survival aspect of life, while self-inquiry consumes you more. Are you saying like this?
Yes, because I want to be more towards self inquiry because I really like that state. But at the same time, I need to be part of this world and, make a living for survival. But I am kind of not happy in that state where I just have to go in search of survival. That's it.
So what
Because
is
people
more?
are, yeah,
So what is more important? Being happy is more important.
yes, survival is very minimal for me. But if it's like, if I can actually cut down on it, I'll be more than happy.
But if you can be happy without cutting down on it, will you be okay?
Yes, why not?
So happiness is more important or cutting down?
Yes, happiness.
So let us stick to happiness then, because that's the simplest thing to achieve.
Okay.
Many questions, many confusion, many things may not be handled so easily in one session like this. But and also I cannot point to something very fundamental in one session like this for so many things. But simple thing like happiness is very much possible. So what happiness we are talking about here? A happiness which has a condition that if life is like this, then only I will be happy, or a happiness which is not bound to the state of affairs. Which happiness we are talking about here?
Bound to any state of affair. Like, I should be in one state of mind throughout.
So you are saying that the happiness which is not dependent or bound to anything.
Yes. Any external source.
Understand? Yeah. So for that, actually, I say that it may sound a little different, but actually it's not. You can learn to be present. This learning to be present is the way to connect to your natural happiness, first of all. So you will be able to be happy actually throughout in whatever state you are, whether you are doing self-inquiry or working for survival. And you may perform much better in both the fronts actually, because actually being present is nothing but a different way of self-inquiry actually. But this is not a mind's way. This is a being's way. This is the way of the being. Being does not really struggle in trying to know who I am by asking questions. It starts living as itself and knows slowly like this. But when the being starts living as itself, it starts performing very well where it is, because the rejection and the resistance that we have for the life situations based in the preferences of the person that we think we are, they start falling away. We become more relaxed and flexible. That is okay. What matters is that I am peaceful, that I am joyful, not that, how life is or not. So you can learn to be present more. That's what I would like to say then. Because learning to be present is maybe effort, but it does not result in a continuous effort for rest of your life. It more results in effortless learning to be effortlessly present. Because at some point you start realizing that I just am present, not that I have to be present. So it is like knowing a deeper truth about yourself, that I am actually all the time present wherever I am, whether I am doing spiritual effort or survival effort, effort for survival. So I hope this is good for you right now. Or
Yeah, it is.
yeah, so learn to be present.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, then is there anyone else? There is no one else right now, I think. So nice. We all, I feel, have to understand in some way the value of fundamentals, or the value of the fundamental work that we have to do in the spiritual context. We all are, in one way or the other, trying to get some quick fix. No, not all, but many actually. In the beginning, we do like this. Please try to understand that there is one way to experience stability in life, in the spiritual context or otherwise, that is to know yourself, who I am truly. For someone who want to know who I am, it is a must to know that I do not know myself. Until then, the inquiry has not started yet. Until then, our unawareness about not knowing ourselves, which is the state of ego, is doing self-inquiry. No? So first thing is that either you know yourself if you want to experience stability in life, or something equivalent, like fundamental equally. That is, what do I want in life, from life, whole of life? What do I want really? That takes us to a much deeper level from where all our actions, desires, preferences, way of looking is coming. It takes us to the root of ourselves. So this hard work, everybody in the beginning will try to avoid, which is okay. But please understand that you cannot avoid it forever. There are no quick fixes in the spiritual context. There are just no quick fixes. Absolutely. Anybody who tries to get a quick fix, they take much, much, much longer, 10 times, 20 times, 100 times more time than it will take usually. So being realistic about these things is much, much more important than, I mean, for those who just want to understand conceptually things is a different story. But I don't think there is anyone here who just want to understand conceptually. You all have come to really make some change in your life. No? So for you, it is important to understand the reality of things, first of all. It doesn't so much matter how well you are able to define spiritual concepts. What matters is that how well you are able to feel them and look into them deeply inside you. How truly you know them. And this kind of fundamental work, I feel, will be very important. Basics, understanding what are basics. No? So very good. Manu, you want to talk?
Ram Ram Bhaiya.
Ram Ram.
Bhaiya, I want to listen something directly just from you.
Yeah, and you don't have any, you're not giving me any context or anything. Like you are giving me a free hand. Like I just say whatever I feel like.
Yes, Bhaiya.
Then I want to say to you that this moment, let's say present moment. No, understand what is present moment. Okay. And I invite all of you to listen to me if you feel interested. Try to understand what is this present moment. Okay. This present moment is an experience also. No, we are having like present and then past and then future. Like this. But right now, if you don't give any value to anything which is not here right now, without your effort, so you're not putting any effort for anything to be in any other way than it is right now. You are absolutely okay with everything the way it is. By your understanding right now, of course, mind may still reject or not like certain things, and my mind may want certain things to be in a certain way, but you are not doing any such things. No? If you are only present here, that's what it means to be present actually. Not involved, not busy, not engaged actually. Here, everybody is always here. So I hope you understand that you cannot not be here ever. No? So everybody is naturally present all the time, wherever we are. And this wherever is present moment. This present moment is like, it's a gift of life actually, based on life's wisdom. It has created this moment for you. And your body, mind, and everything is very much in line with that, actually, this moment. There is nothing lacking, neither in life nor in you, neither in this moment nor in you. Everything is so totally in sync, actually, absolutely. But mostly you cannot enjoy being here because you are busy, no? Engaged. So everybody is naturally present. Some are not engaged. They know themselves as the presence that I am. No. So spend time with yourself every day, more and more, including right now, starting right now actually, for a few minutes only, just being here. Just being here means appreciating that I'm effortlessly here actually. Can anybody say that I'm effortfully here? Can anybody say? Nobody can say. It's just that we are saying that when I'm here, I should be peaceful, I should be happy, I should be joyful, I should be in a certain state. And then we don't find ourselves in that state. Then we say, I'm not here. It's not true. Disturbed, not disturbed, happy, unhappy, but are you here or not? And are you putting any effort in being here? This is the point, Manu, I'm trying to make it clear to you. Once it becomes clear to you that there is no effort I'm putting to be here, you have opened the door of truth of yourself. This knowledge that I am effortlessly here wherever I am. Now the only thing is to be engaged with what is present. Present means life. state of life, state of affairs, sense of me, sense of my life and responsibility and all of it. No. So spend time in this natural knowledge, in this clarity that to be present is natural, effortless. Enjoy this more, including right now. No? You will laugh actually so much at some point, like like why I was trying to fix my life, because this knowing and this knowledge that having this knowledge that I'm effortlessly present is an ocean of joy. It's an ocean of happiness. And I was trying to fix small things that, oh, this should be like this and this should be like that. Just one condition, don't be engaged. If you are not engaged, you cannot be a identity. You cannot be an identity. So I'm very clearly telling all of you, those of you who are not ready yet to let go of your identity, this will not appeal to you. You will try with effort. Effort means what? There is no effort of being in the present. There will be an effort of letting go of your addiction with the mind, where you continuously try to do something so that you can remain as a somebody, as a doer. No? If you don't do anything, you cannot survive as a doer, as a person actually, even for a few minutes. No? Try, everybody try. And so we will try to be present. What do you mean by trying to be present? You are trying to overcome your tendency, your addiction with being a person. That no, I still feel what is going on is important for me, and I keep getting engaged with that. And we blame the mind, we blame the feelings and everything that is happening in life in this present moment, which is a gift of God actually. It cannot be a curse really to anyone. I mean, it cannot be a curse for you when you are trying to know yourself. It is just that you are just struggling with your addiction. No, there is nothing which can engage you really from its own side. Same things happening to everyone. Let's say we are in the same house or like this, but everybody meets it differently. No? So that's all I could say to you. I hope it's nice.
Yes, Bhaiya. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you. I think in the mind state, in the ego state, the only fruitful thing that can be really done in the direction of truth is that find permanent joy. That's all. Because that is the direction of truth. Once you find permanent joy, you are more interested in from where the joy arises. Then that is the source. That is the truth, no? Our truth actually also. No? We are trying to solve the problem called suffering, whereas there is no such thing called suffering in the mind state. No? In the mind state, do one thing. Just try to find out permanent joy. Even if you don't find, you will know that there is no such thing as permanent joy. Then the suffering will end also. No? Suffering means what? Trying to find permanent joy, no? And not able to. What else is suffering? No? I think good. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Norbert, you write, dear Rajiv, with the grace of your and Mujiji's teaching, the certainty is growing so rapidly, that I know really nothing at all. That itself is something to be to the core, but is is that I that is seeing this. Why don't you see right now? You can see right now if you want. Because this is this sense of knowledge that I know is not really just in the mind. It is in the very blood of the ego state. It is in the very cell, every fiber of the ego state. Ego state is made of I know, and the only true, you can say, antidote for it is clarity. How much I really know, and then you don't really have to become free from ego. Ego is just believing. Not believing is not being in the ego. No, you have not become anything else ever. There was one man, no, who was saying that there were two monkeys. Actually, I saw on the internet. One monkey was saying that just imagine that you are falling from a 20-story building, and underneath is a big group of crocodiles waiting for you, like this. What to do? He said, just stop imagining. It looks very funny, nice joke, but it's a joke of life for us also. So just be very vigilant about believed in knowledge. Remain open for true knowing. No? So that's all I can say. No? If anything else, you can write to me or talk to me as you feel.
Hello, Raji.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So thank you very much for being here. And it is I wrote it's soothing to the core. So it's not something to the core. It's soothing to the core. It means it's like a happiness to see this building falling apart somehow. This construction of a person, believing into the person, and I'm really so grateful for that I can be in this satsang with you, and also with Muji, and so it just came to me to express this again, and the moments of clarity, the moments of when this all falls away, I'm so happy for it, and I don't know really. Like, this question is very often asked about how can this be permanently be the case. So to stay in this wide open place with no limits, no entanglement into the this Maya world, and still I know it's not about avoiding the world. It's more staying in this place where no how you say, my English is not so good, where no nothing sticks, and this stickiness, I think it's also something habitual, which just can be overcome, like you said, with the just with the clarity and the consciousness being awareness itself and presence. So it's just continuing like that. And what I mean by deconstructing this, or maybe falling apart, this building is, it's also like Muchi said, there's no next. And today you said from the other way around. You said there's it's not sticking to the memory. So letting go even the past. And so the future is falling away, the past is falling away. Now the presence is here, but maybe even this presence can fall away in a way. I don't know.
Yes, yes, totally. Because this basically, it is not that the presence falls away or not. It is that the truth of the present moment reveals no beyond our understanding about it, which is learned way of looking at it. No, so it's just that letting go of our learned way of of looking at life or inside you also. So present moment is the common ground where life and you meet. No, you can take any direction, this direction or this direction, but preferred direction for the beginning will be inside. Use the present moment to know yourself. In the present moment, you don't have any knowledge, but you have capacity of knowledge, capacity of knowing, pure capacity of knowing. So it's not that you have to learn something new. It is that you have to be empty, absolutely empty, not by effort, like trying to detach yourself. No, by seeing what is what. Like thinking, what is thinking really? Just seeing that, what is thinking? I'm thinking like this means what? I'm thinking this is a best present moment. Just be present here and see what is thinking really about it. And what exactly it does? It just does nothing. I'm just absent from the present moment. I'm absent from living of the present moment actually when I'm thinking about it. Just see like this. If you are in a hurry to reach to the stable state of the being, better focus on why you are in a hurry rather than trying to reach there. You don't have to reach anywhere. You only have to wake up. How to wake up? By seeing things as they are. But the things, not what you look at, but the things from where you look at. That is the thing to be seen. From where you look at anything. That is the blind spot. What is called sleep, no? Self-unawareness, you can say. No? So everything that you are saying right now, you still must be having some mix of knowledge. Be very alert. Especially in satsang, speak only what you know. Speak means inside you, live that only what you know. Like I regard this only like this, no? And like this, time does not apply to self-knowledge actually. Time really doesn't apply. Time only applies to your attachment with what is in time. How much time you take to be free from your attachment with what is in time. What is in time? I would say find out what is not in time right now, including your spiritual journey and growth and your desire to wake up. Even this, is it not in time? But there is still something which is not in time, right this moment. So in your way, you will go slowly, slowly towards yourself. You will reach, of course. But you are taking the path of time. This is the path of time, slowly, slowly. And the path of the being is beyond time. You just see everything as it is. Do nothing else, absolutely. You don't have to be free. You have to be free from the belief that you are bound. Why it should take time? Why it should take effort and steps? It should take more integrity and decision that, okay, what I'm doing really every day in the name of spiritual awakening. Why don't I just sit and think that what exactly I'm doing? This is a real waking up, I would say. You are shaking yourself. Like, why I get into that habitual, slow way of waking up every day, again and again. Because everything has its own place. It's not that that thing was useless, but it is not useful forever or for everyone in every state. No? So for you, I think that there is a time for something else now, a very different way, the way you are talking also. That now your language cannot contain so much achievement or desire or truth or anything, but more clarity how things are. Actually, all I'm saying is that just to be present and meet the truth of life as it is inside you. That's all, actually. That's all. You will laugh so much. What I was doing and why, actually, like everything is learned, including awakening, enlightenment, everything. Everything is learned. And the day you let go of it, you are awake. Slowly, slowly, or immediate, like that. That's the difference. But everybody will have to let go if we want to wake up. You are not going to become yourself ever. The sooner you let go of this idea, the better. If you're not going to become yourself, what are the spiritual efforts? Are they right efforts? This light will show you the mistake also, naturally. Like why again and again I try to be peaceful, I try to be stable, I try to be still. Why I'm trying that, if I cannot be changed? If you can be changed, can you think if you can be changed, you would not like to be that self inside you which can be changed? I mean, it's a contradiction in terms, actually. You, whoever it is, the center, how it will be changed? No? Like, scientifically also, if you look at it, common sense, no? How can you be changed? I'm saying feel, not think about it. Even if you think, logically also it's not possible that you are a changeful being. But somehow we are so busy in fixing that we just not notice the obviousness of truth. What I'm doing, I said a lot. Please say if it is in line with what you want to hear. If you're talking, then I cannot hear you. Your mic is muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for all what you said, and it's really applying to my approach since now to this long spiritual journeying and searching, always fixing and always trying to be a better self and a better and I can see it already, but I also want to be honest to myself that this is there is still a wall, something like a wall in front of me that maybe doesn't really exist, but it's like you were talking about the play in time, the development of reaching this true self and being immediately there. And this is falling away of all necessity to fix something, or this falling away. It's still there's. I feel there is too much effort. Actually, too much effort.
Yes, yes.
So how can I how can I go away or leave this effort alone? Just leave it alone somehow. I don't know.
There is a common ground called being present, which is the meeting point of time and timelessness. If you can stay here, if you can, be crystal clear about what it means to be present and like this, you don't need to reject anything. You can still continue doing your journey, or you can let your mind continue doing journey, let's say, or the effort or the energies are flowing and things like this and beliefs are happening, no problem. You will kind of slip out of that whole thing into a middle point where truth exists always. Truth of everything. Truth does not mean truth against the false. There is no such thing as false. Only misunderstanding or clarity about truth. Here you have clarity about truth in the present. You will see what is journey, whether it is birth or not. While you are in the present, absolutely there is nothing to be rejected except the impulse to not be present or to be involved, just not be involved. Very open and seeing very deeply, like, okay, let me see what's going on. Everything you will be able to see actually the nature of everything. While you are actually also opening up to your truth, the timelessness of yourself also. Because it is like a two-headed arrow. This being present is like a two-headed arrow. Or it's like a light, which is two-sided light on both the ends. You can try right now, even if you feel. So the only effort here will be to be vigilant about impulses or getting caught up in sense of doing anything. Only this much alertness is required here. Otherwise, you are naturally present actually. You don't need to do anything really to be present, or do you? Yeah, you don't need to do anything to be present. So what it means to be present actually here means appreciating being present more than anything else. Anything else being the habit of being busy, engaged. And it's a subtle habit. It's not such a simple thing that, oh, okay, like how it kind of comes inside, we don't even notice sometimes. So like remaining very alert that I'm kind of not going to really do anything about anything right now. I'm just going to be here, enjoying being here, appreciating being here is my decision. This decision is like we were living like this, and then you decide to be like that. Not sleeping, very alert, like absolutely alert. Like much more alert than before actually. But and every now and then a feeling comes, to be like this, and you decide not to be. Let your even whole energy is kind of like this, but you just decide not to move.
This is what I wanted to express in what I wrote, that it's more and more that I can let go of being of, like you said, just only being in the outside. It's also just enjoying being with myself with the outside, and this is so it's well, it's encouraging for me to have these moments, how I can enjoy it really, and there is no fear anymore, no more fear of living or of encountering any whatever will come, and it's good for me, and it's and so even now it's in this situation which is also not so used. I'm not so used to talk to somebody in this Zoom meeting, and still it's a accept of this like a little bit tension, but in the same way I enjoy it, and I really am in it, and I'm happy to have to have this opportunity to talk to you, and so that's all I can see
Yeah.
now at the moment.
Yeah, that's nice. But there is something deeper also here, which maybe you did not see, that that you are not used to of this Zoom meeting, and there is sort of a certain stress, or let's say, newness about it, like a learning curve, and that is creating some stress, and still you are happy, joining like this. And there could be some day when something will arise in you where stress is too much that you don't feel happy, or you don't want to go with it, you know and yet the fact remains same, that you are present. It is just highlighting your deeper layer of attachment, or ego, no? Or ego mind, you can say. So even you fail, it's same really. It makes no difference whether you succeed in being present and doing the activity, or even you don't do the activity. You feel miserable, let's say, about doing something, and so you choose to not do it, and a habit has taken over. Even then, you are present still. No? That's what I'm trying to make it clear. So focusing on being present more than what are the effects of it will be much more useful, because that this is a direction outward, that I am able to still, I'm happy still. It's fine. But if you want the whole of yourself and the wonderful life forever, then conserving energy more inwardly is better. Making sure that whether I performed well or not in this situation, but whether I was sure that I was present or not, that will help much more. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for talking.
Thank you.
Today we will end very soon now also, like in 10 minutes or something. So then Prajot, you can talk. That should be the last.
Ji, namaskar ji.
Namaste.
Can you hear me well, ji?
Yeah, I can.
Ji, I just wanted to having a feeling to connect with you.
Okay. I hope you are both are doing well.
Ji, very well, ji. Just little busy sometimes with the family, and couldn't sometime practice also. Few
Yeah,
things step.
I can understand.
But in the morning is very good here. Feeling very good. Early morning get up.
Yeah,
Very
that's
nice.
really good in a place where you have this kind of opportunity or a feeling, no, to wake up in the early morning like this. In the cities, it doesn't feel so natural to wake up early, no. In the big cities, I mean. Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I want to share with you, both of you, something very simple, and that that just if when somebody is having, let's say, some wound, you have cut, did cut your finger or something, like hand, no? Hand. So everywhere it is used and everywhere it is highlighted that how much pain you have, no? Then you cannot be careless about it, like whole day the pain of the finger will remind you that you have to take care. So like it will be in the background all the time that you will be treating your finger, no, whole day, like this. This is one way. This is the way of the suffering through which life teaches us to know ourselves, no, when there is a constant suffering. But that's not the case in many people as life, no. There is another way also. That is the way of the mother. The mother is in the house. There is a baby, infant, 2 year, 1 year, crawling anywhere, touching anything, trying to eat anything and everything. And mother has to do other things also, no? And mother still somehow has a inner monitor, let's say, not a technological baby monitor, but more like an inner monitor of the intuition, where it has a connection with the child, that it can sense. In India, we have seen this in my childhood, particularly, that it can sense what the child is doing actually right now. Mostly, it is like accurate, no, and that kind of sincerity is possible also in the seekers, no, that whole day. It's not that because you are suffering that you are trying to know yourself, but somehow you know the value of it now. That one thread remains intact inside you, like undercurrent. That undercurrent is more valuable than any activity actually, any spiritual activity in this direction, because that is the amount of value you are giving. Your being that you are is giving to know yourself versus giving value to anything else. No, it is not really our effort in the direction of knowing ourselves that will alone bring the fruits called peace or unbroken joy. It is the value that we give to it. In satsang, so many times we are able to come to the pure state of the being, but we are not able to stay. No? Why? Because we have not given enough value to it yet. No? So, like in the whole day, that value can be given like undercurrent also, and it is like a pure light, which will enable us to see much more our attachments and everything. I just felt like sharing with you. I hope it is nice.
Gee, very nice. Gee, just was one thing I wanted to bring it in the light. For last 2-3 days, I'm finding like a kind of a, can't say guilt, but kind of a uneasiness I felt when I don't do practice. Like I'm still talking with family or doing something, and still inside they say, "Oh, you are not doing, you are not being aware, you are not being present." It's some kind of a feeling comes, not a thought, but a feeling comes. Most of the time I felt like this, a kind of a knocking inside. I just wanted to bring.
You can learn to be present with that feeling. That is the best treatment you can do to anything actually, including this feeling also. So what will happen is that when you are not present, let's say, which is basically being divided in more than one thing, 2-3 things at the base, no, not at the level of body, mind or energies, but at your level you are divided. Divided means unaware that you are not divided actually, unaware that you are not present actually, you are always present. No? So when you choose to be present, even in this state, you will remember yourself somehow as the natural presence, that I'm just present here. And that will kind of again bring much more space of or the light of your presence, where you can accommodate the whole thing. That kind of right now it's not really possible to do practice, and it is important to listen. Or no, I think it is important to do the practice. So like one unified decision will come without any conflict or conflicting, feelings. You know what I mean? So you will respond from your undividedness also here. No? That's more important. When you are responding from your undividedness, not only you are responding, your response is best to what is happening in the moment, but also you are learning to stay as yourself. No? So do that. Let the guilt be there. It's coming. It is being produced by the mechanism. No? By the energies, the structures, no? Like this. But you choose to remain present. No? Because this structure, body, mind and everything, what it produces is somehow able to consume you, meaning so much so that you forget that you are present. And if you choose to keep remembering that, no, I'm actually present also, no? Unhappy, present. Feeling guilty, present. Feeling confused, but present also. You know? So that amount, that much, that portion of you remains kind of free from the ego state into your natural state. And you are much wise also. You can see much more neutrally also here. You know? There is really no other magic I know of for the beginners, but to be present, you know. So I think very good. I'll just
Thank you very much.
thank you, dear. Thank you, thank you. I'll just quickly read the messages, 2, 3 messages, and then we end. Yeah. Jogan, you wrote, "Love you, beloved joyness. Hugs and gratitude." Thank you, thank you. Love you. YD, you write, "Dear Raji, you are divine. Thank you so much for your sharing. Love you. Love you too. Hey, you are also divine, actually, no?" But that's what I'm saying actually since the beginning. But thank you for giving this opportunity. Thank you, beloved. Dagmar, you are saying wordless joy. Discover myself with you. With all of us very grateful. So much love is here. Yes, yes. Thank you, beloved, for being here also. Thank you, thank you. It is very nice, no? Kiran, you wrote, "Thank you, beloved. Was not able to be physically present last 2 days in satsang, and yet satsang was alive, and also very happy to be in physical satsang with your in the immense shade of this banyan tree." Nice, nice, very nice. Martin and Marisol, you wrote, "Thank you for meeting you again this time. It gives the chance to unfold which is not, which is not. Constant reminder gives us clarity and joy. Love from us. Lots of love to you both also. Very nice, actually. It's very nice. Thank you. Prashant, you wrote, "Thank you so much. Pranams. Thank you. Whatever. Namaste to you too." Rahul, you are writing, "Thank you. Thank you. Pranam." Thank you, Rahul. It's a little bit Lina. It's Lina. "Thank you, beloved, for walking with me." Thank you. Thank you, dear. Sanjay, you are writing. "Thank you, Raji, for opening more new possibilities." Thank you. Thank you for being receptive and present. Suresh, you are writing, Thanks, Raji. Happy to be here. My gratitude." Thank you, beloved. Very, very nice. Just wonderful, no? To meet all of you here. Today, actually, honestly, I was not sure what we will do together. I was a bit kind of too much silent or something, you can say, inside. So I'm not sure how we'll talk or what we'll do. But I think it is all of you, your sincerity and interest in truth that we did well. I feel we did very well actually together. No? Very happy actually to meet all of you. Thank you, beloveds. Oh, nice, nice. Okay, then I hope to see you again someday. Thank you, beloved.